One. Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a January 2016 edition of the SuperGeek Hangout. We haven't had one of these in a while, so it is the show and tell of the latest and greatest of projects. We have a community. Right now you can find us on the Freenode IRC servers. The room name is #DoogieLabs. You can join us. #DoogieLabs for the room name. Join in and you can actively participate. For those of you who have a camera and a microphone and some headphones, you can actually join us in the Hangout this evening if you have something that you would like to showcase for your projects. I've been here working on cars this afternoon, and I got a lot more to do. And we've had a lot of really interesting things going on over the last few weeks. And I'm excited to have people come on. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. And welcome.
Your security system is unplugged, right? Because you keep kind of dropping out.
Let me fix that.
I thought that was just on my end.
No. He went full robot. Your feed was fine. It was his end that having the issue. And I'm like,
I didn't have his end go robot, but
I just saw it. I was like, I bet he left the cameras on. And
all right, let me close these out. Okay, so I'm not sure how my stream is coming in, but it's a little laggy to me, so I think I'm going to go and grab a Ethernet plug-in.
my stream is very entertaining right now.
Which means I have to detach one of my telephone systems, but that's okay. That is okay. I've also got to clear off this table so I can bring some projects on board. We're actually going to do a little bit of hardware hacking on a couple of, well, maybe it's software hacking technically on some video phones that I have procured. But we're going to hit the Ethernet. Good. Going to let that warm up and get its IP address.
Yeah, it really does get kind of grainy if you turn on the normal lighting in such a dark area.
Yeah, well, I can bring some more lights in
Well,
here.
no, I'm talking about mine.
Oh, yeah, yours is pretty bad. But you have to light the piss out of things, you know?
Well,
Otherwise
the camera is pretty good about using monitor light, but it's off to the side, not where the monitors are aimed. Like
Okay.
right here, there's 3 monitors in a 49-inch TV. That's a lot of light.
Oh, I know why. I know why I'm not. Here. Let's get some power going to the laptop. Yeah, power.
Yeah, that's what I spent the day doing.
Yeah, just what we need, more cables going to the laptop. There we go. Okay, so should be a little better. And we're going to pull the Wi-Fi off now. It may disconnect. Hopefully it won't.
Probably will. If you
You'd
hope
be
it doesn't,
surprised.
Murphy will get you.
So is that the VFD that I see?
Yes, that is the VFD display. If I can aim my headlamp and look at the screen.
Disable this.
So it's getting 2-wire data. It's a shift register, basically. You have to shift the bytes in.
Covers.
Nice.
Did it recover?
So I finally figured it out, and it took me forever, and it fought me all day, and I'm over it. But it works. I have all my digits in there. I finally figured out a method of having it shifting it out just like the clock does, because I don't want to have to go through and say, if we're going to display this character in this location, we got to shift it out. We got to set a flag somehow and shift it out instead of me having to like configure it to shift it all out at once and figure out everything at once. That makes it horrible. What I wanted to do was basically make an array of the 16 characters and then just have a display loop. And it took me a while to get that working because I kept doing it wrong apparently. It's also very sensitive to noise. That's why there's 2 resistors soldered on here holding it down the ground, and then 2 on the breadboard as well.
So I picked up something pretty amazing today. 2 of these.
I don't. What is that?
This is a network security appliance, supposedly.
That looks fun.
And I picked 2 of these up for 40 bucks. They run on 12 volts. And they're just fascinating, right? Because they're off-the-shelf parts. I've taken one apart because basically one powered up, one didn't. And he offered the one that did power up for 30 bucks and $10 for the one that didn't power up, so I got them both for 40. And this is the motherboard that's inside of them. It's a socket 1 AMD. So it'll take the Turion X2s that are dirt cheap on eBay, you know, the laptop CPUs.
Okay.
Got a PCI X, only 8 lanes, but it's still an X16 slot, PCI slot. And here's where things get a little weird. These are FireWire. This one's parallel. It's got 2 IDEs right there. I think that might even be... No, I think that's a trusted platform. 2 COM ports. Keyboard and mouse you can get off of here if you want. There's 4 SATAs. I mean, this thing is just packed full of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And there's even a, you know, one of those little mini PCIEs on the back.
Not bad.
Got 2 gigabit Realtek LANs on board. I mean, 4 gigs of RAM. So
There you go. There's a better view. You can see all the clock's functions right now.
there's the socketed CPU. You can see it. I just took the heatsink off. And also, as kind of a bonus, it's got a Crystal Fonts LCD module, USB.
That's a nice little hackable package you got there.
It's completely
I only
hacked.
jumped in here
Oh
just
yeah,
to
it's got a
comment.
cool 2.5 drive bay.
I just hopped in to
Unfortunately, when he
comment.
wasn't looking at, he removed the hard drives, but they're 160 gig Hitachi Travel Stars, 2 of them.
Okay, hold on one second. What's up, Ian?
I hopped in here to comment saying that I just deconstructed a couple of those the other day. They're really quite nifty.
I like it.
The whole motherboard assembly is extremely versatile.
It is. I'm going to use it for a lot of different things, I think. I'm going to probably see if I can score a few more of them.
What are they?
They are a, let me tell you exactly what it is. It's an M86 Security M300, Model 300 001001.
They are a inline security system, basically. It's like a step up from a firewall.
Mm-hmm. But these are really good router boards. I mean, you stick a Intel network card here, and you get the 2 gigabit Realteks, and you got yourself a hell of a router. You know, this Contron board is built very well. It's got all the capacitors look like they're Nippon Chemicon. Yeah. Well, technically Union Chemicon, but still, same difference. It looks like the SATA is LSI based. This is just a really cool board. I like it. It's got a ton of USBs too.
Now, Trip, I wanted to share your project with everybody on the live stream and the channel that's watching right now. I'm actually quite excited about what you've been working on over the last few weeks. He's been, well, I'll let you describe it. Where did you get the idea for this in the first place? I'm curious.
What did I what?
Like, start with how you got the idea to build this clock.
I don't even remember. This idea has been floating around for over a year now. And it started off as the TV Out library was a thing. Well, it started off, someone in IRC linked me what the viewfinders did and showed me it was a freaking composite input. And I just went wild with that. I was like, that could be useful. just a tiny little composite screen, great for testing something. Like, heck, I could at some point think about it now. I can do a analog camera tester. 5-volt USB supply, the composite input. Fit in your hand, you can test a security camera with it. But it's just crap like that. I wanted to play with it. Found the Arduino TV out library, and that was a rabbit hole that took me a few months. Because it turns out you can't make a big font. Also, it turns out you can't make big bitmaps for all the alphabet. Well, not on a standard Uno, the Mega 328s. So I made the 16-segment display version and spent forever on that. There's at least 50 hours of work in this. But the idea just came from what's the stupidest thing I can do, and how can I do it? And the idea was, I want to kind of like the idea of like people were doing the big oscilloscope screen clocks. I thought that was neat, but it's hard to drive those tubes. Like, I have one sitting over there in my closet, a nice big one from a Kenwood scope that died, but I don't even know how to begin driving it. I mean, it's not that bad. It's a one of the deflection ones, not a yoke one, but it's just that makes it a pain. But then there were these, and I was like, I could do something with this, but then I realized it's tiny. If I were to put a normal clock on there, how could you read it without getting up close? Then I thought, why not get more? And I now have had 7, because one died yesterday. The one we had on the left, I can make it display occasionally, but it keeps going out, and that's the only one that absolutely requires more than 5 volts. That's what this one is, and this one has to stay in the. Hold on, let me turn my camera on, back to normal. Here, there, and there. Let me pull up my feed. There we go. Okay. So this one has to stay in its case because the front part of it doesn't come off like the plastic enclosure around the actual front of the tube, as well as the flyback doesn't go on the back of the tube like on all these. It goes on the front. I'm not having that open. If it's not in the tube socket, it stays in the case. But this one's got to go. That one's blurry because it needs more than 5 volts. All the rest of these are okay. That one doesn't like displaying properly, so it can go if I can get another one. But this one works pretty well. I'll use it if I have to. But in total, you do still have 7 or 6 AT megas running each screen. Then the 7th one is also running the VFD.
Way cool.
And the VFD, I got to fiddle with some more because there is the buzzer on it. There is a keypad driver. I can find the case for this thing. I really kind of want to do that so I can have it enclosed. And if I can't find it, what I'll probably do is I'll trim the board because all that right there is unneeded. I just need this and that. But this is going to be a pain. That's not staying on the breadboard for the project. That's going to either have perf board or a etched circuit board. And that's going to be fun because I've never done well, I've done perf board, but not for that sort of complexity.
You're almost to the point where you can start putting a case together for it.
Yes, that is the next step because there really isn't much more. I mean, I can keep fiddling with the program. I mean, I just got this running today, and that took me. Well, I got it to display Treehouse Man last night, and I went to bed at freaking 4 a.m. I'm not doing that again. It was one of those things. I didn't eat yesterday. I spent the entire day programming and went to bed at 4 a.m. because I completely wasn't paying attention. About did the same thing again today. Fortunately, it worked this time. But it works at some point, and I don't know. I might just go ahead and do it. I would need a Dropbox and just like put my code where people can look at it and see how horrible it is. It is so convoluted just to make this work. Towards the end of this, I'll go back and optimize it and neaten it up. But you got, what is it? Okay, let me just look. So the one that runs the actual real-time clock currently has, what is that? 685 lines. And I think what the only libraries it's using is one for the real-time clock, software serial, a timer so that this keeps flipping back and forth, and then the I2C. But all the rest of it's in that one thing, and all that's recipes and freaking timing and converting all the real-time clock data to something that can be to the single character so we can shift it out to the screens, and oh, it's horrible.
Sweet.
And then you look at these, and what's driving these? With the 110 library files.
Wow.
Each one of those I had to make. There was a bitmap file and then a header file for all the different segments. Ends up being 110 files I had to include. Type each one out.
Yep, that's something I've done with the Corrado display and touchscreen interfaces. I've had to make all my own bitmaps, and it's kind of fun to sit there and paint and pixel by pixel.
Yeah, and then you had to go and convert it, and then you had to go and remove the characters that can't go into the actual bitmap file, and then you
Now,
actually have to.
Is that 1 bit per pixel?
Yes,
Okay.
because I couldn't get the scale function to work. If I could have gotten a scale function to work, this would have been really easy. Because then I could have used the default fonts. I could have done one character in the middle of the screen and scaled it.
But nothing can be that easy, right?
No, never. The fun part, though, is the way these are set up. They should work as a, if I can configure it right, I can get this working as a serial. This is more or less right now a single character serial terminal, is what this is. You send it one character at a time and it puts it up on the screen. That's all it does. Now it's taking posit video out. So what you can do with this is hook up 6 actual TVs to it.
Yep.
So eventually I'm wanting the back of the box, once I get my termination for all the signals right, is you're going to have 6 yellow jacks on the back of it. And you hook this up to 6 different TVs. And maybe I'll throw in a Bluetooth module. I have one somewhere. I just have to find it. But I don't know. I have to figure out. I'm using so many pins on that one for the clock, the real-time clock. But if I can make it interpret data properly, you can send a serial string to it and it can put up on any display you want, which would be neat. Because all of a sudden you could do something like a generic thing would be like similar to what airlines, all the flight listing.
Yep.
You can just do different screens and have different lists and everything. And like you can do a Arduino-based like Gmail on one screen, notifications and crap, just for the fun of it. But it works somewhat. I still got to align everything. Like, heck, you can see right now. You can see the white bars on the bottom of these. I have the yolks in the wrong position. It's hitting the bottom of the tube and reflecting off. But all of it's running on 5 volts, and it's pulling 0.8 amps right now for everything.
28, 28.
No, 0.8. 0.8.
Oh, okay. I just heard you.
No, not 28.
Not even an amp for all of that. Wow, I'm actually fairly impressed.
Whenever I had that one that went out on there, it pulled a fair bit more. That VFD amazingly doesn't pull much. But I just really wanted to give up that 5-volt reg. I was beating the hell out of it because I was putting that much power through this. Look at that tiny heatsink.
That poor thing. At least you gave it a pretty good heat sink.
Pretty good.
It's better than it could be.
If I brought the voltage up on the main rail, it started coming up. This was basically just a resistor dropper. That's all this was. If I brought up the input voltage over like points or over 7 volts, you started seeing the 5-volt rail going up.
That's bad.
Yes, it is. Really, what I should have done is I should have had all the TVs on one rail, and then just have a 5-volt reg on the Megas. But some of those CRTs have 6.3 volt caps, so I know for a fact those are 5 volt. Some of them have 10 volt, and those are probably like 6.3 or 7 volt.
6.3 correlates to filament generally.
Yeah, but whenever you have a 6.3 volt cap and the filament is connected between positive and ground, it's not a 6.3 volt filament. You don't do that.
No, you don't.
You do 5 volts. And
What
you
are your
also
ideas for a case? Are you gonna make it like artistic so you can see the inside of it? Or?
I don't know yet. I'm kind of dreading that because I could go all out. The problem is this is where a 3D printer would come in super handy because I can print up the holders for all these screens, and then those are done. I can have a protective cover around the circuit board, and then we can have a holder for the screen, and then we just put a cover over the top of it, and it can be clear. You don't need to see the bottom of the screen, but you need something to hug it and hold it in place, keep it from spinning.
Are those the black and white viewfinders from like VHS movie cameras?
Yes, they are.
I thought so.
Right there, you can see there was one in the case still, but that's what they are. I would love to get a hold of a color one. There is.
I could get you one possibly if you pay for shipping. I have several.
I don't need one. Well, the problem is, while there are colored ones, they're like an inch or bigger, and that kind of defeats the purpose of this project.
I might actually have one that's not. It's in a VHS-C mini camera.
Interesting. I know typically the ones they made were miniature square tubes because they still had to have the shadow mask in there. And that's the other fun part. I love this. There's no shadow mask, so I can do this all day long. All day long, I can sit here and play with the number.
Oh, because there's nothing to get magnetized.
No, there's nothing to get magnetized, so I can make it twist and turn and just all sorts of neat effects.
I used to have a CRT monitor for a computer that had no mask in it.
Oh,
That was really cool.
That had to be fun. Let me see. I can totally get this in there.
There we go.
Go here. Go macro.
I'm gonna have to see if there's any power management on this motherboard for the fans.
Go.
I got it working. There we go. Sweet.
Load game. Okay.
Hold that up closer.
There we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
Oh, nice.
You don't get to do that on color screens.
Okay, so
see the digit up close.
we fixed the broken one. It's now fixed.
A friend of mine's hardware store. All the point-of-sale machines ran off of IBM PS2 computers.
Oh, it works on VFDs too.
Ran on IBM PS2s, and the black and white, well, they weren't black and white, they were green, monochrome monitors, had no mask on them. And we would just sit around in the hardware store when I used to help out there and just play with the little, like, it had all the images that it used were text-based. So we just sit there and bend the little text-based images around with the magnets that came on the end of those flashlights they'd sell.
I still want to get an old green screen terminal.
Yeah, I was
Doogie
looking for one
there
of those earlier. I wanted to paint one up that looked like one of the terminals from Fallout 4.
I could care less about that. I just want one to play with.
So,
have you
anyway.
got yours set up there, Doogie, or is it just have a working keyboard now, and that's all that's happened to it?
So this is next on the list of stuff to screw with. This is an Iris 3000 video phone, and it runs Linux.
I have been meaning to set up the serial terminal It's fixed and ready to be used now. I've kind of used it with the HP 9000 for a little bit, but I do want to do a project with it. Probably going to be like the IRC, maybe like adding that Raspberry Pi in it or something.
Oh god, I just realized something. I'm gonna hate myself now. I'm totally just going to hate myself. Because I could totally do it now if I sit down long enough.
I've been wanting to mess with video phones lately. I kind of wonder if that would work for our live streaming somehow.
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't?
It's a SIP phone theoretically, but that's not the problem. The problem is that this thing's incredibly locked down, which is why you can find these for, let's see, what did I pay for this one? $6? Yeah, like $6. And the first thing we got to do is we actually got to root the thing, and I've reset everything, gotten it ready to do that. But I got to get a bunch of infrastructure here so we can log into it and just totally mess up its settings and upload a custom firmware to it.
I could totally add this to the board somehow.
Is that an RGB LED matrix?
Red only.
Oh, red only.
Red only. And I have 3 of these.
30?
3.
Oh, from
Yeah,
like a
you guys
business
can't
time.
count.
30 there for a second.
Yes, I have 30 of these lying around. Just like the board over here is pulling 26 amps. 26 amps through a breadboard. I'd love to see that. But no, I have 3
Well,
of these.
you could pull 36 amps through a breadboard at like 0.1 volts, no problem.
This wouldn't stop it from bursting into flames.
All that matters is really the watts.
This sounds like an experiment someone needs to try out.
Doesn't Ed have that welding transformer heat up?
The rewound one that puts out like 3 volts at like several hundred amps.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know if he ever actually did that. Did he?
He did do it. He had video of him doing stuff with it. Yes,
Oh,
he
that's right, he did.
Yeah.
So I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
Does anyone recognize, whenever it wants to come up, come on, does anyone recognize whatever interface this is?
Nope.
SD card?
No, I mean just like the icons. Like I'm trying to figure out where they robbed this thing from. Anyway, whatever.
Weird. No, yeah, that's isn't that like a file manager that you can potentially use from XFCE?
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's from like FXE or Fluxbox or something. By the way, this thing has a USB host as well. I was trying to get a keypad to work in it the other day, but maybe later.
Okay, I'm going to migrate to the office because I'm done with the Prado for now, I guess. Right?
So anyway, so that's one of the projects for the night. I should see if Jester is around. That means I need to plug back in my phone system. So that's going to take a minute. I shall do. Let's see if this orange cable is straight through or not. It is a crossover. That might work.
Then you can see my hovercraft.
Has he gotten to do anything yet, or are you still just in the building phase?
Ooh. My poor mouse.
Ah, the joys of trackballs.
Oh, I was fine until I dropped it.
One time I was at the Industrial Surplus Center, and there was a 55-gallon barrel full of trackball balls.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, I found out they bounce really well.
Let me do
They
a quick.
wouldn't. They wouldn't seem like it because they're hard, but they actually bounce very well.
All right, I got my phone system plugged back in, and we are going to give Jester a call.
For those of you who are just joining us this evening, hello and welcome to SuperGeek Hangout. This is the January 2016 edition.
Hey, Chris,
We've got a lot going on over the last few months. So we've got some people who want to showcase their projects, and I've got some stuff I'm working on as always. And yeah, this is part of finally getting back around to improving the content and creating a community where we all can collaborate and enjoy each other's work. So if you want to join us this evening, you can go to webchat.freenode.net, enter your desired nickname. The room name is #DoogieLabs. In there, you will find a link to another live stream, which is a little bit less delay than the YouTube one you're watching right now, if you're watching us on YouTube. And there's also a Hangout link. So if you have a camera, a microphone, and a set of headphones, you can join us live. And you can ask us questions, or if you have something to share, definitely come on and share it. It's fun. So.
There's like one person watching the YouTube show.
I showed 3 watching the YouTube stream, and I haven't checked the other one in a while.
You can actually see it and read the digits at the same time now.
Well, I can't get a hold of Jester at the moment. He's not answering his phone, so.
One slightly annoying thing with this, so it's the VFD is 1 second behind the CRTs, and I have no idea why.
One of the things that I've been working on is this is a brand new Samsung color laser printer.
Oh, it's that
And
one.
you'll notice there's some wires kind of dangling out.
Okay, so you got a brand new Samsung laser color laser printer, and
The first thing he does is destroy it.
I kind of wired up to the data bus of the toner cartridges,
interesting.
and I've been trying to figure out what I can do to reset the page counter on the toner chips so I can refill my own toner, because we're going to have 6 of these printers. Well, we do have 6 of these printers, and toner's like $100 a cartridge. Screw that. So if I can, I may have to order the toner chips, but if I can just make a tool or buy
I know that some companies already make tools that reset chips, so you might want to see if one exists for that one already. I'm sure you have, but
I have there was an out to a guy in Russia who makes.
There was an E-fuse on those. Dude, you know better. Don't tilt the printer, especially on the laser printer.
What was that? I missed it.
I said, don't tilt the printer. You know better.
so I'm curious, those CRTs, what kind of voltage do those things run for acceleration?
What do you mean by accelerate? What are you talking about, like the flatback?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Because I'd imagine it would at least have to be like 3 or 4, maybe 6 kV.
I could totally find out.
You
But
can, just don't like annoy your skin with burn smell.
No. See, you're underestimating me.
Do you have a high voltage probe?
No. Well, I have half of one, but I have a trump card. Diggy knows what it is, and I'll show you as soon as I find it. I have like 5 of the things.
Donald's Trump card, going to make America great again.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
He said
I
it.
don't know, but that thing on top of his head, man.
It's secretly an alien in control.
My boss is all for Trump. Making me puke.
Here it is.
Pretty much everybody I know is like Bernie Sanders zealots.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I
think
like
that
the guy
it was
myself.
easier than anything else.
I like the guy myself, but some of the people I know are like taking it to obsession.
Well, yeah, like out here, out here's Republicanville. I guess Trump makes some of the hard Republican, right-winger nut jobs so uneasy. Nice, by the way. That'll work fine. Simpson meter.
Well, no, it's a triplet, but though it's rated for 6,000.
Okay, well, a triplet meter.
I
You
wish
got
it was
me
a
on
Simpson.
semantics.
If it was a Simpson, it'd have the freaking mirror.
Now, there is something you should be aware. That's an AC 6000. That did not say DC.
DC is above it.
Do you know,
that's what-
I want to say, I don't want to go too much down this rabbit hole because I easily will, but I will say that I am an avid Sanders fan, but I am not a partisan person. I do not declare myself as a Democrat or Republican, and in my opinion, even though he is basically a socialist Democrat, and socialism is not a bad thing, by the way. It's come to be known as a bad word here, but true democratic socialism is actually a really good thing because, well, for a lot of reasons. Anyway,
The problem with socialism is it's too frequently confused with communism.
that's right. It really is.
And I'm in complete agreement with you, Doogie. I'll vote for whichever candidate is the best, no matter what they define themselves as.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one of the things that's really important that people should think about, especially this election more than ever, because more than ever,
There's a lot to
corporatism runs
lose.
rampant. Money's in politics. We need to eliminate those things, but yeah, you really got to look at everybody and have an honest examination. Like I am for Sanders, okay, but that I went and I watched the Republican debate because I value everybody, and I understand that Donald Trump is actually running as, like, if he doesn't receive the Republican nomination, he's still going to run as president, and he is somebody who is basically just paying for his own ride. And while he is clearly lacking in experience in foreign policy and like civil rights and stuff like that, and he's very racist, he does no business. And this last Republican debate, it was very interesting to hear him like comment about China and how he would handle things like that. So he actually earned my respect as an experienced businessman. But as far as the racism and the way that like his views on women and this whole putting up a wall and alienating Muslims is terrible. So he's not going to get my vote for that reason.
Yeah, he is. It's like the same thing. I was kind of interested in what was his name, Rand Paul, the libertarian guy, because I thought that his views on what is it? Like security, cybersecurity, monitoring, government spying, etc. He took a really interesting stance on it, where most people are either completely for it or completely opposed to it, and he was sort of one of the only ones at the beginning who was kind of moderate on that issue. I liked his point of view to start out with, and then I realized that he was a horrendous bigot and a isolationist and had no idea about foreign policy, because in his mind we didn't need foreign policy because we would just shut ourselves off from the rest of the world. Then I completely wrote him off. But yeah, I think a lot of people should start looking at people, not parties, because I know where I live it's extremely liberal. I live in Ohio, in the northern part of Ohio. I'm not going to say where, but it's northern Ohio. It's just completely liberal to the point of, practically communism in some regards. And communism not in a good way, not in a socialistic kind of way, like in a,
Broken kind of way?
in a broken kind of way, like a Soviet Russia kind of way. And
Out here, just so you know, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and we're so right-wing Republican that I actually knew several people in my neighborhood who actually went out in the middle of the desert, bought land, built underground bunkers, and were like waiting for the end of the world to happen because Obama got elected again.
yeah, that's
I wish I was
absurd.
making
I
this up.
know people who are like, I'm gonna move to Canada if Trump's elected. I'm like, if you want to move to
Why?
Canada, just move to
if Trump
Canada
gets
because
elected,
you like
he's just
Canada.
not going to get anything done because he's a bigot.
No,
And
my opinion is, if you like Canada, well, you just go move to Canada. Don't blame it on.
honestly, they won't let you move to Canada. They pick and choose.
But what I was saying about, people here somebody a pretty common nickname for the place I live is Little Portland, Ohio, because people joke it's like Portland, Oregon. But as I said, it's so liberal. A lot of people are completely blind to any other candidates existing except, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, and people saying, well, if Sanders doesn't get the nomination, I'm voting for Clinton. And if
other candidates exist because, well, they don't actually get to choose the president. The Electoral College gets to choose the president. In a sense.
All right. So we need to do a separate. I think we should do a separate discussion, hangout, live stream on politics. I think that could really be a lot
start
of
off
fun.
this one with politics.
Yes.
We've kept away from it this long, and now we just want to talk about it because it's a freaking election year.
But let's talk about high voltage. The flyback measured 2.5 kV.
That's about right. I was expecting maybe a little more, like
2.5, you said?
Yep.
Did it?
Okay.
And the meter had an input impedance of 125 megaohm.
Okay.
So
So
it
it
didn't
kept your
really-
fingers nice and not shocked.
Yes, I hooked it up and then I applied power to the screen, so I didn't have to actually touch the business end.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Okay, so here's one of the things I've been working on. This is the beginning of a hovercraft. It's
With meat slicer fans, or meat mincer fans.
I wouldn't slice meat with those fans.
You could, it's metal, you could sanitize it.
It's not stainless, though, is it?
no, they're not stainless. The fans are these.
They're zinc.
Are they?
Yeah,
I
some
thought it
of them
was
apart,
like
they're
cast
zinc.
aluminum.
Nope, they're zinc. If you look on the body, it says zinc.
If you look on the body, it says zinc.
Those fans look like the kind that they sell on eBay as electric superchargers.
Just
Yeah,
about,
but
yeah.
these ones are much cooler than the electric supercharger fans.
Yes, these are quite amazing fans.
Yeah.
500 watts. Or no, not 5. What was it? 250 watts.
Enough. Enough.
Yeah, it's 250 watts and it moves 500 cubic feet a minute.
That's impressive. Especially since the electric supercharger fans are basically scams.
Well, they are.
I
Yeah,
mean,
These
that,
came out of an HP Blade Center, the C3000 or the C7000.
or the 9000. But or the 9000.
I
9000.
need to go get a monitor cable.
But
I bought 4 of them.
you know, I still think those could actually do a partial supercharger. I don't know whether it net you any actual horsepower increase, but it would definitely increase the performance of the engine. It can produce some pressure.
You know, you raise an interesting question, and I've actually kind of done this before. The electric supercharger it works until the point that the engine overcomes the CFM demands of the fan, right?
Yes.
If at that and that's usually an inevitable thing. And at that point, if the engine is only plumbed through that, the supercharger then becomes a restriction and will actually reduce horsepower at that point.
But
I've used one of those electric fans in conjunction with, like, I had an air filter in an engine compartment that was a short ram intake, and it was divided off, so it would still get some engine compartment heat. But I took a blower, and like a cone air filter has the end on it. That's like a cone shape, and so I took a little flexible duct and stuck it over the end and put it on that blower and put that down in the bumper area. So that way it was always getting cold air from like the front grille, but if the car were to hit a deep puddle or something like that, I wouldn't have the same danger of drawing water into the engine that you would have like with a cold air intake.
Yep. But yeah. I mean, if you put it on like a lawnmower, I'm sure it'll help. Something small.
I did forced induction with a shop vac hose onto the world's crappiest Tecumseh-powered lawnmower.
Like the Jetta. The Jetta being a small four-cylinder. If it didn't already have a turbo on it, one of those fans would probably supply enough air.
One of these fans at 500 CFM. It'd be close. I mean, there wouldn't be any pressure, right? Necessarily, but
well, it'd be a little bit, not much.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Now, there actually is a company that legitimately makes an electric supercharger, and by that I mean it is a electric motor with gear reduction that drives a turbocharger compressor housing, and it makes about 8 psi or so on a four-cylinder engine. I think those came in some Mercedes or something.
It sounds like just another expensive part to break.
Well, when it does break, yes, because they're fairly rare. Yeah.
I know I was looking. I got interested in looking for how much FLIR 1s are going for, and I started seeing that there were freaking thermal cameras for Cadillacs, and I was like, hey, look, another expensive toy to break. Freaking night vision cameras on the front of a bumper. I can get why, but I mean, seriously. You're gonna buy a Cadillac, and it's like, oh, a night vision option. I'm like,
oh, the amazing thing about Hangouts, whenever I do one, I need to go eventually find a cable, and that's when I can't find what I'm looking for, even if it's the most basic cable one could ever need.
Well, it's also whenever you're most likely to forget you're in Hangouts. Do something you're not intending to do.
Let's see here. So what we need, all I need is a DVI cable or a VGA cable right now. I've got like 1,000 of them, at least.
Jekyll wants to ask a car question. Sure, you can ask a car question. What's your question? And for those of you who are just joining us live, hello and welcome to the January 2016 edition of SuperGeek Hangout. We got two people on sharing their projects, and we're discussing some interesting things tonight. And so if you would like to join us in the chat room, you can go to webchat.freenode.net, enter hashtag Yugi Labs as the room name, and your desired nickname as the nickname, obviously. Join in, and you can talk with us in real time. And there's even a Hangout link, so if you have a camera, microphones, a set of headphones, and something that you would like to share with the world, you are welcome to do so. And I guess this is a good time to announce that we are undergoing some fundamental changes in our main live stream Hangout experiment, I guess would be the most appropriate way to put it, that we've been conducting over the last few months. I've been not only wanting to provide a way to hang out with friends that I have come to know very well, but I also wanted to take this a step further and create a community where people can share their projects and help each other. And so I'm working on creating a network of sorts that will allow us to do that. So you're going to see lots of changes in the pipeline, and we're going to start putting up content. We're actually creating a whole separate entity that's separate from even my personal website and YouTube channel to host this. So there will be more details on that to come soon.
Really? That just sounds like a pain in the ass and something that'll just get boring after a while to deal with.
I don't know. We'll find out. You never know until you try.
I'm still annoyed at dealing with multiple IRC servers, but that's just me.
Well, that's me too.
I'm like, I gotta add another communication system.
It could be worse though.
Jackal, what'd you break?
What the fuck is a wheel cylinder? I just paid to get mine replaced in the back because one of my rear brakes was stuck on.
Yeah, it blew out.
Yes.
That's what it
Yeah.
means.
You broke
wheel
it.
cylinder is a part specific to drum brakes. It is equivalent to a caliper on disc brakes. It is basically a hollow tube that's got some pistons inside. There's the tube, and then there's a piston in each end that pushes out like this. So the brake line comes in, and there's a hole drilled in the center of the tube, and fluid is pushed in, and it forces the pistons out. And each brake shoe, so you have the drum, which is the part that slides over the round part that the shoes push outwards against. And so the bottom is just a pivot, and the top, those pistons in the wheel cylinder push against, and it hinges them out like this, forcing them into the drum, and that's what actually applies brake force on your car.
It's basically just a large pneumatic actuator that.
The large hydraulic.
Yes, hydraulic, not pneumatic.
Not pneumatic, hydraulic. Pneumatic brake, well, no, we do use
Pneumatic brakes work the exact opposite thanks to George Westinghouse and some really good thinking, really.
Yeah, because I'm like...
Pneumatic brakes are what is typically used on railroads, correct?
And semis.
Yes. Well, it's railroads and, like, semi-trucks. Yep.
Yeah. Because
and
you don't want to do a hydraulic
they are
connection
basically the brakes that don't fail when they fail.
Yeah, because
they
the
apply.
vacuum turns them off, not turns them on.
Well, no, it's not vacuum at all, because it's air pressure that keeps the brakes off.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the air pressure turns them off, so that if the air pressure were to fail, it automatically stops itself.
It fails.
It's really ingenious, really. Simple.
Pepper.
It was
The original air brakes actually worked the opposite, but that was just the original set. They pretty much changed it to the other way pretty quickly after figuring how long it took things to bleed down and apply. They decided to go the other way around, and they ended up with a fail-safe too. So
yeah, the old method was
the air brakes, and it's really good.
The old method was suction, wasn't it? To keep the
No.
brakes off?
No. Not at all. Now, you're probably confusing it because power brakes, they have a diaphragm
No,
that runs
I
off
know
the
how
vacuum.
power brakes work.
All right.
$53 for a wheel cylinder? What vehicle is that, though? Most wheel cylinders are $20. and under.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm confusing it with something completely different.
Hey, Jackal, you can be if you try. I'm just as dangerous with vehicles as I am with computers.
Drum brakes are... I don't like drum brakes either. I love disc brakes because of the simplicity. Drum brakes, there's a lot of arguing with springs. If you have the spring tools, it helps. Most people have to use needle nose pliers. That's the way I've traditionally done it. I don't know. I don't like drums. It is an old technology that is a reliable one. I'd like to get rid of the ones on my van. Eventually I will.
I've never personally had any problems with drum brakes, but then again, I've never had drum brakes fail. So... you know.
Yeah, I've had wheel cylinder problems in cars before, and uh, yeah, I don't know. I just there's not as much stopping power there as there would be uh, with disc brakes anyway. So that's just my preference,
Yeah.
as it should be.
Yeah, I like disc brakes.
I haven't messed with the carbon ones too much yet. Those are pretty weird.
With disc brakes made out of carbon fiber?
Yeah, the rotors are carbon fiber.
Yeah, the kind of stuff they can do with carbon fiber now is pretty crazy. I was in a music store the other day and discovered carbon fiber guitars.
Not surprised.
It was impressive and also really odd. They don't sound like wooden guitars at all.
I wouldn't think they would.
13 Chevy Spark. Wow. $500 is a bit excessive on labor. Yeah, I agree with you there, C-Pro. I think $500 is a bit excessive.
Chevy Spark, that's like a really tiny,
Yeah, it's a small car.
rebadged like foreign compact car, correct?
Yeah, it's another. Yeah, and they made them in turbo. I thought actually.
I really hate Sparks. Just gonna put that out there. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate the look of them. I hate working on them, and I just hate them in general.
You are very opinionated there.
Yep.
I need a haircut. Holy crap!
I remember when the Chevy Sonic, was it? That other little car
Yeah,
came out, they got awful reviews.
it's a Daewoo. I almost said.
I don't think that the Spark's a Daewoo. The Aveo is a Daewoo.
No, yeah, the Aveo was a Lanos.
No, but the Aveo was the Daewoo because GM bought Daewoo out, and
Very rarely I will see an old, like a, not exactly a vintage Daewoo, I don't know if there is such a thing,
there is.
an older, like 90s Daewoo still barely
No, I know.
clanking around.
They seem to hold together better than the newer ones did.
Matis. I gotta look that up now.
All I know is I hate Daewoos.
I think most people hate Daewoos.
For those of you wondering what the heck we're talking about, we're actually responding to a conversation that's going on in the chat room right now. Oh, that's funny. When I search Daewoo Matiz, I get Chevy Spark, actually. Huh. It's funny how that defunct car company is still around.
Yeah, it is, but that's been Chevy's way. You remember the pushrod 2.2 that they used in the Chevy S10 up until I think 2004?
Yeah.
You know the story of that engine?
No.
It started out life as a 1.6 Opel engine, which GM bought the rights to use in the Cavalier. And I want to say that they initially attempted the Cavalier in 1.6 liter, and it was really awful. You know, it was carbureted, distributor, and it had no go. It made like maybe 50 horse at the wheels. Anyway, it's 2.2 pushrod engine, and I think they enlarged it to 1.8 liters, and that made it slightly less bad. And anyway, eventually they enlarged it again to 2 liter, and when they went to 2 liter, they added a DIS, distributorless ignition system.
Okay.
But they still had to drive the oil pump, right? So instead of redesigning the engine in the block, they just stuck an extra part in there, a half shaft,
Yeah.
which took place of the distributor, right? And so they re-engineered everything and fit everything together, and so that engine was still there. And then they enlarged it again to 2.2 liter, and it was in the let's see, that engine was used in the Cavalier and the S10 and a whole bunch of other things, but that half shaft was still there, driving the oil pump. So, and it's funny because at the time, because I was trying to work out a way to do fuel injection we had a whole bunch of crate 2003 S10 motors that we wanted to use for engine rebuild, and we were deciding how we were going to go about it. And well, the first one is, well, can we lift a distributor out of one of the old systems? And the answer was no, because the intake manifold gets in the way. You can't remove the half shaft and put a distributor in when the intake manifold gets in the way. And you want to keep the fuel injection as the saving grace. So what we ended up doing was we took a 94 engine computer and a 94 ICM, the ignition control module, and I figured out the wiring, which was interesting and fun. And rigged up a engine harness, rigged up a run stand that two people could lift an engine up and over on if they needed to. And we just built it up and got it working, and it's been in use for I think 4 years now at that college. That was my final project of my AAS degree, which I still don't have. I'm actually taking another course and trying to get it right now. But no, very cool stuff. The evolution of that engine from Opel to just bastardized 2.2 fuel-injected pushrod engine used in an S10 pickup.
That's
And the
interesting.
Isuzu Amigo, if you ever see one, it's just a Chevy S10 with an Isuzu badge. Speaking of bastard automakers.
Yeah,
I actually learned how to drive stick-on one in Michigan, thanks to my buddy, who hit a deer with it apparently, and said, "Hey, if we can get it running again, you can learn stick." And so I learned stick on that, and it was a great car to learn stick on because that engine's very forgiving about abuse. And it being a small pickup truck, the clutch was fairly beefy, even though it was almost dead. So it was also good for abuse. So I got to learn how to drive stick on that thing, and I can pretty much drive, well, with reserve, anything I want to now.
I learned how to
can't
drive
quite
stick on a
put the clutch on a viper
1980s
easily,
John
but hey.
Deere Gator.
Huh?
I said I learned how to drive stick on a 1980s John Deere Gator.
Okay, you win. You
That's
win.
an interesting one, yeah.
The kind with a two-stroke, two-cylinder engine.
Like I said, you win.
Actually, that's a funny story as well, because it actually blew one cylinder, so they just removed the piston and capped off the intake and exhaust ports and made it a single cylinder. It
Wow.
sounded really odd.
Well, apparently it worked okay. I remember we had a Harley Davidson golf cart donated at one point, and it was so funny because it was a centrifugal clutch, right? Single cylinder engine, right? And it had a lever which would reverse the polarity of the starter because it would start backwards if you wanted to go backwards.
Oh, it had the Yamaha designed reversible two-stroke engine in it.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But it doesn't actually have a starter motor. It has a belt drive generator alternator, which can reverse polarity. And that's how it actually alternates the engine rotation. It's definitely an interesting machine. I had an old Yamaha G1 golf cart for a time, which had the same sort of reversible engine in it originally, but the kid who owned it before me decided that no one really needed oil in two strokes and filled the oil injection tank with gasoline.
Ooh.
And said, no, we don't need oil, and it surprisingly ran for several weeks with no oil in it until it finally lost enough compression that it wouldn't start, and then he scrapped it. Well, by scrapped it, he said, "Here, do you want a golf cart? I can't seem to get it to start anymore. You can have it." It's like, yeah, all right.
That's when you get a crotch rocket engine, and then you're good.
I unfortunately did something much more interesting. I put the engine from a like snowblower in it. A Briggs. It was a go-kart engine. A Briggs Intech 206 6-horse overhead valve thing. It went so slow. It went like 1 mile an hour. It was abysmal. It functioned though. Our only use for it was like driving around the old location of my workshop. So it functioned pretty well for that task. For the longest time we had no exhaust, so I just bent up a piece of electrical conduit and jammed it out the side, like a redneck stick exhaust. It was great. You pressed the gas pedal all the way down, and you went like 2 miles an hour top speed.
Oh man, that was so fun. Jordan at the lab when he brought his go-kart motor, his little 5-horse Briggs, and in some of those you can just thread like a piece of steel pipe in the exhaust for it.
Oh yeah, on the old ones you could do that.
So we took a piece of gas line and drilled holes in it so it looked like a muzzle brake for a machine gun, and just threaded that in place of the muffler.
Those little engines can produce some serious horsepower if tuned correctly.
That sounded so cool. I hadn't played with this in a couple of weeks. And you guys were talking about the terminal earlier, so it got me interested.
Oh, that's awesome. That does look like a terminal from Fallout.
Okay, let me look. I was totally distracted by this conversation on IRC. Oh, that's an ADM, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh man, I want one of those.
it is a 3A.
They're so expensive though.
They're nice. They're nice terminals.
I found it in, my boss bought an old hosiery factory, and this was just laying buried under some crap under an old table in there.
It's a pity the rest of what that was attached to wasn't there.
Well, and that was what was, I was like, fuck, because when he just started to buy the building, the room that had all of the computer equipment from the factory, or the office, was completely overflowing with all the computer equipment from the factory. Like, they had removed it from the various places and stuffed it in the front office. And they asked my boss what they wanted to do, what he wanted them to do with it, and he's like, "Oh, just throw it away."
Oh!
So this was the only thing, and he said all the stuff looked like this. So
I bet it did because, it had to.
I can't imagine what
Well,
was there.
no use in crying over lost stuff.
Yeah.
No use crying over spilled dumb terminals.
It happens.
At least you weren't like my friend's older brother and shot a bunch of priceless Nintendo test cartridges for fun.
Well, to each their own. Did he know they were test cartridges?
No, he didn't know what they were. The joys of living in northern Maine when you're almost 30 years old and have never seen a Nintendo in your entire life.
Oh, darn it! I could have used this. I was looking for where I put this darn thing.
Is pin 7 on DB25 RS232 ground?
What is that, C-Pro?
An Uno?
Oh. I'm like half-assed watching the live stream and playing Minecraft on my other monitor.
Let's
So
I think I got an Uno and a
apologize for disjointed conversations.
Well, at least I found my Arduinos, so this is something I was looking for last week. Do you know how I would output a 1 megahertz signal from an Arduino? Just to drive a circuit, because I don't have a 1 megahertz crystal laying around. I know that sounds exceptionally simple, but I would like to know how.
555?
555s are too unstable.
Do you need to do something time critical with it?
Yeah, because I need to output 2600 and something hertz, as well as a whole bunch of others, because the Steve Wozniak Blue Box I'm going to be building, I got all the logic for, but I don't have the crystal to drive it. Because what he does is he uses binary counters to divide the 1 megahertz crystal oscillator into the tones that he wants, which is actually a really cool way of doing it. Ask IRC and you shall receive information. Amazing.
Yeah. This is fun. I miss doing
But
it.
no, I want to use an Arduino just to act as a over-bloated crystal. I just need to output a precision 1 megahertz signal of some sort.
I had a
The
real
Wi-Fi timer just does not have the temperature and stability characteristics I need. I don't think.
I think the reason we stopped doing the SuperGeek Hangouts was because the YouTube broadcast thing was broken for a while.
By the way, it is worth noting that I will be mocking up the blue box in a video. Not on Hangouts, probably, because Hangouts is distracting. And I will be mocking it out on... Doogie, you ready to see this thing? Check this out.
My
Wow.
dad has one of those.
Heathkit Laboratory breadboard.
I
3300.
used to have a very broken one of those.
And the cool thing, everything's here. Parts that came with it were dated 72, 73, 75. And it's blue. So it's going to be perfect for my blue box. So I'm going to make the blue box in the blue box mock-up here. We're going to run it off of 5 volts. Should be fine. I think Woz ran it off of 9 with a dropper resistor because that's just what you did back then. Why won't you stay up? You're staying up before. There we go. But yeah, the Atom's awesome.
Time to make an actual serial cable here.
Oh, I have another weird question for you guys. How many people here like graphing calculators and such? Because I found a weird graphing calculator thing. I didn't know that these existed, but apparently they do because I got one. This is something I've never seen before.
What is that?
This, let me see if I can, you can't.
Click everyone over for you.
This is a Texas Instruments keyboard. And notice the port that it has on it.
Is it infrared?
No.
Oh,
Look.
it's one of the what's the really small headphone?
Yeah, the serial port thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But it uses a link cable. So this is a full QWERTY keyboard for a TI graphing calculator.
For those of you just joining us, hello and welcome to SuperGeek Hangout. If you have something that you would like to share, I encourage you to join us. You can chat with us live at webchat.freenode.net for the room name. Enter hashtag DoogieLabs and your desired nickname, and you can chat and hang out with us. There's actually a link in there, so if you have a project you would like to share and a camera, you can join this very live stream. Right now, I am making a serial cable to hook up a really old HP 9000. I guess it's not really old, but it's certainly not an x86 architecture machine. and I'm hooking it up to what is a really old dumb terminal. So join us.
What color is that dumb terminal? Is it green?
It's like a bluish, greenish.
You know, I think
Color
we're going
is
to do
retro.
some terminals. Why not? I'm going to stop the phone work right now, and since I can't find the video cable I'm looking for right now, we're going to totally sidetrack. I'm going to get one of my Wise terminals out and a modem, and we're actually going to dial up into Jester's BBS. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's
Jester
good.
actually messaged me. He was testing the IRC client in his BDS. I didn't have a chance to respond. He kind of disappeared before then, but yeah, that thing's cool. I really want to try dialing into it with a laptop one day.
I was born after the age of BBS communication.
I kind of missed it because I had a sheltered childhood, and when I told my mom that we wanted internet, or that I wanted internet, I was told that we couldn't afford it. So and it's what happens when you're poor middle-class American, I guess, in the day of the expensive internet.
My first experience with home computing was when my parents bought a Apple Macintosh SE30.
All right, so the first thing we're going to need is a dumb terminal.
Oh, that's cool.
And we then, much later on, we did do some very basic kind of dialing into some kind of email system. I don't remember what it was, and then it wasn't really until like 2002 that we got a computer that actually went on the internet. We got a, oh, did we crap out? No, it's still working. Just CPro died. We got two computers actually. We got a Gateway 2000, and we got an original generation iMac in rapid succession. I credit the iMac's acquisition with the fact that the Gateway ran Windows ME. And my parents hated it so much after using the, reliable SE30 for years that they said, screw this, we're buying another Apple, and went out and bought an iMac. Which,
That's
let
funny.
me tell you, at the time was like the shits.
That's very funny. My webcam decided that it doesn't want to work. So let's see if we can get the good webcam to work again.
Your webcam seems to be functional.
All right. There's two webcams. There's a webcam on my laptop, and there's a webcam that's actually attached. I'm going to switch to feed ports and see if we can't get this thing back online.
I have a Logitech webcam which constantly disconnects itself. Some kind of weird short in the cable.
This one's never disconnected. This time it's done that ever. It's good to me. This is a 525. Of course, I picked it up from Goodwill. So we got our dumb terminal. It's a Lizzie.
Oh.
And I've got to go grab a keyboard for it. And we're going to grab a modem and a serial cable. And we're going to connect it up to an old school modem. We're going to
Oh, nice. So you're going to do this without even a computer at all.
This is going to be epically amazing, I think. So
That would be cool.
let's see here.
My laziness in Minecraft knows no bounds.
I should mention that one of my projects has been to actually create a phone system to connect two modems together through a PBX. And that is what we're actually going to use here. We're actually going to go through an IAX2 trunk to Jester's computers in Ohio from Phoenix. So we got the WYSI terminal. And let's power it up and see if this is the green one or if this is the amber one. I've got one of each.
Did you get that working reliably?
What?
Did you get that working reliably?
Yes. 9600 baud is what we do.
I learned more recently about baud speeds than I ever planned to in my entire life.
Oh yeah.
Recently, my latest project, and something I really ought to be filming or talking to the IRC about, is reviving a 1994 Stratasys FDM 2000 rapid prototyping machine, aka a 3D printer. And it uses a proprietary software scheme that connects over serial and runs at something ridiculous like something so slow. It's like 2130 baud.
2130?
It's not standard at all, and it takes so long to transfer anything or get anything back out of it. It's ridiculous. The transfer speed is so slow we contemplated just gutting the entire internals and running it on a different control board running on a Raspberry Pi. Because the baud speeds were just intolerably slow. I mean, telling it to do a calibration, right, takes over an hour. Just a calibration takes over an hour. It sits there for.
Sorry, I have to duck out to go get a modem.
That is a really.
And now we need to get a cable going.
Because you see it sit there and transmit data for like, a good long while, and then it moves like an inch, and then it transmits data again for a good long while, and then moves another inch. It's like, ugh.
Okay, so there's part 2. And we're going to take our telephone line that's going to my Cisco SPA112 ATA, plug it into the modem, and then we
I'll be
need
right back, guys.
a serial cable. Although, I wonder, let's see, no, that one won't work. I might need to also get a null modem depending on which way the cable is. Okay, let's see here.
Okay.
That's not the one I need, but it could work.
Position this. Oh, I got something. Okay. Oops. Dumping things on my desk. Okay.
Okay, we need the proper cable. Yeah, maybe that'll be fine. Don't judge me too hard. Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
In here.
Oh.
Plug this in here.
Are you wearing your webcam, Tuki?
I'm holding it in my mouth.
All right, here we go. Huh. Nope, we need a null modem. No modem. Just watch, I'm pretty sure I lost the null modems I have. Either that or that token ring. So let me get the cables that I know that work. I'll be right back.
I don't really know the password. I don't know why.
Is it your own computer or just some random thing?
No, this is my computer. It's an HP 9000 RP3440. It is a PA RISC architecture system. It runs HP UX, or HP Unix, and this is an early 2000s machine. It's got a pair of dual-core 1 gigahertz PA 8800 processors in it. It's got 12 gigs of DDR RAM. It's got three 146 gig, 10,000 RPM Ultra 320 SCSI drives in it. I bought it at an auction. I've been wanting one of these machines for a really long time as a part of my collection, and so I bought it at an auction. I think I paid like $50 or something for a pair of these and a bunch of other crap in the lot. And
There we go.
they go for a decent amount on eBay. People still seem to want to maintain them. Well, offices and stuff that run their databases on this. That's primarily what it does. Is it's a database server. The PA8800 is almost the fastest processor in the PA RISC architecture. This machine will also take Itanium processors. This is one of the few computers where you can kind of like change the architecture.
Warning, my internet seems to be having some issue or something, so if I drop out, that's why.
Oh, I think I remember the password actually.
Let's see, where's clear? Let's do it the hard way.
Only default users are configured. One of the following user password pairs to log in. Admin, author. Admin.
Okay, so check it out, guys. We're going to ATT first, ATD, and this is going to be, I think his is at 5.9. Don't know if you can hear it, but we are dialing.
Ah, the A was capitalized. That's what it was. This doesn't have the character ROM in it for the lowercase fonts, so I only see all caps.
So I hope you guys can hear it.
I remember that sound. It was usually followed by Netscape Navigator saying, "You've got mail. Welcome to AOL Online."
Seems to be having problems tonight. Let's try it again. It's probably because I'm just, oh, that's not going to work. ATD. It wants to keep on making double characters for some reason. Maybe I've got the wrong line code on this keyboard. Maybe the keyboard's pooched.
Pooched keyboards are always a possibility.
Of course, this is the first time I've tried to connect from a dumb terminal.
Oh, I see Dookie's getting somewhere.
Yep, I was able to get logged in, and I am at the console. Here, I'll show you. And so basically, it's waiting for me to push the power button on the system.
I wonder if I'm using the right modem. Yeah, there we go. Check it out, guys. Oh, god damn it. We were so close. We were so close. See? So close. Error connecting to the TCP port. That's a new one, actually. I'll have to ask Jester about that. Actually, I don't think the problem was on my end right now. It might be on his end. We're going to give Jester a call again and see if he's there yet after this fails. Well, that's not happening. Nope, there we go. God damn it. Okay, we got a problem here. I need to contact Jester. I hope he actually is at home now.
What are you attempting to do there, Doogie?
I'm booting the system.
Oh, it boots off a CD?
No, I was just seeing if there was a disk in it. My HP UX CD is still in there.
Chris, you there? Hello, 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 hello? Your BBS is error connecting to TCP port.
Trying primary boot path. Oh, I need to click over it.
Huh.
Oh, it's booting, it looks like.
Let's see. By the way, we've just dialed into Project MF because I have nothing better to do right now. And I just realized I need a blue box to reset this trunk. So why don't we do that?
I have nothing better to do currently, so I'm just like zoning out and playing video games.
So would anyone mind if I blast a 2600 hertz-ish sound into the thing?
I don't think we want to hurt everybody's ears.
I'll give you a warning, but that's the best I can do.
We got like a dozen people watching right now between the two streams.
Yeah, just mute your microphone.
Okay, what'd you say, Doogie?
I said we have a dozen people watching right now between the two streams.
Just mute your microphone.
So we're gonna blast 2600 to this phone. Let me make sure it's still ringing. Yeah, it's still ringing. So hopefully you can hear it. Okay, warning, 2600 coming in. And see, it winked. And we just dialed a number. Is that cool or what? So that's the trunk going to Project MF that you can just blue box. Oops.
Is it still booting up, Doogie?
Yep.
So anyway, what do you think about that?
That's cool.
But yeah, that's actually rigged into my PBX system. We're going to try connecting up Jester's BDS one more time, but I think something's broken on his end, unfortunately. So I apologize for not being able to properly do that justice tonight.
The system is ready. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
That's better than the system is down.
I think I might head out for the night.
Bummer.
Maybe I will rejoin later.
You should go find a dumb terminal and get in on the fun.
I should get a dumb terminal. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, it's good
you
to
too.
see you. Have a good evening.
Yeah, I haven't been on recently. I'm going to try to come on more. Anyway, have a nice night.
Is Cray XMP in the chat? I don't think he is. Oh, he is.
Oof. I don't know what network interfaces are listed as here. As is too easy. There's no backspace key on this keyboard.
Is there a delete? Can you use left arrow delete? Does it even have arrow keys?
There's arrows at the H, J, K, and L keys, but that's not...
The same thing?
That's actually where VI comes from, is because of this terminal.
It's actually really funny and good to know.
Sorry, I need a more specific terminal type than unknown. Well, I have a different way to find the address. For those of you who are just joining us live, hello and welcome to the January 2016 edition of SuperGeek Hangout. Yeah, buddy! So, we're showcasing some stuff, some members in the community, friends have had some really cool projects going on over the last month, and I haven't done one of these in a really long time, which is disappointing.
Hey, we've all been busy.
Yeah, we've all been busy, and I've been disappointed with the content here on the live stream lately and stuff, and that's partly my fault because I haven't taken the initiative to do these. So this is happening more often for sure. Looks like Sudos just joined. Hey, Sudos.
Yes. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening indeed. Yeah, you've been so busy that I completely missed the memo that there was a different Hangout, and I was like in the old Hangout waiting for people to like be there, and nothing happened.
Did you see
Yep,
the?
nothing.
No, I saw nothing. I saw absolutely nothing from now all the way back to about 6 in the 6 o'clock. I'm just like.
Oh, Sudos, I got a shiny that you might be interested in. I got 2 shinies actually, and I just got the other one
earlier. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it.
See if I can find them.
I
So
announced it in the room.
Like before. There it is. So I was at a local computer recycling place that I found, and they had these things. Let me see. Let me
Oh
get.
no, it's a crystal fonts.
Yeah, it is a crystal fonts.
Oh.
Anyway, it's an M86 made by actually M86 Security 300.001.001, and more interesting than the crystal fonts, which there's the crystal fonts by the way, is this cool board. It's got a mini PCI on the opposite side. This is socket S1, so the dual-core CPUs for this thing are dirt cheap.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Is it S1G1, S1G2, or S1G3?
Why don't I just give you the model of the board?
Just tell me what kind of RAM it uses.
DDR2.
S1G2.
Anyway, this will do Turion X2s.
Yes.
Up to a 2.4, I believe.
Oh, no, then it's S1G1. Never mind. Is it 533 or 667 or what?
533.
Yeah, it's S1G1. I have.
The board supports 800, I think.
I have like 2 or 3 S1G1s flopping around.
Oh, thanks, Nathan. You're awesome. Control H is backspace.
So anyway, this board is pretty amazing. It's got FireWire, parallel, 2 IDEs, 4 SATAs, 2 COM ports, just a lot of stuff, you know.
Does it have any actual regular PCI slots or anything, or?
It's got a regular PCI and a PCI X16, but it's only an X8. But it's a full X16 slot. And it's got 2 gigabit Realtek too, on board.
Ooh. Ooh.
I spent $40 between the 2 of them.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Which Realteks?
They're a Realtek gigabit.
That tells me nothing. Is it like 81?
I think.
8169?
I think so. It said on the sheet. It said on the sheet, but I'm not sure entirely.
8169s are a little weird because they're not. Those are passive.
I'm not. I don't know exactly because I don't remember what it's on the sheet. But if you look up KT690-FW/MITX, let me post that in chat. You get the board. Let's see, where is Dewey Labs?
Or I can just Control F, and now I have the page right here. Manuals lib. Boom, got the manual. Because
it's a pretty good, pretty interesting.
Oh God, it uses SODIMM.
Pretty well.
That is crazy. I have never seen upright SODIMM connect slots before.
I have, but this is kind of more of an industrial computer board.
I can see that.
But I got 2 of these suckers, and too bad that when I wasn't looking, the guy removed the hard drives from the second one, which I only paid $10 for because it didn't turn on. But
Where did you get these from?
A local electronic recycling place.
Yeah.
They have more of them. I might have to go and get some more. The hard drives are 160, 7200 RPM Hitachis as well. And these are just like security devices, supposedly, like an inline security device, but that's not what I'm going to use them for. It runs on 12 volts as well. But aren't these just really cool?
I'm looking at what you've got here. There's that. CMOS jumper, reset slot, reset button, LVDS. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
It's got LVDS.
It does, right there.
That's nice. That's really nice. It's got a feature connector. That's funny.
It's got a TPM too.
Yeah, but do either of them have the TPM installed?
No.
Good.
That would suck.
Yeah, if you can get both of them running, I would definitely take a look-see and
They both
make
work.
sure they don't have like concentrates on or something.
They both work now.
What did you have to do to the other one to make it work?
Basically, all I had to do was unhot glue the front panel connector, reset the CMOS, and hit the power switch. I swear to God, that's it. Because for some reason they hot snotted the front panel connector in. God knows why.
Let's see, upright CMOS.
And also, what can I do with that mini PCIe slot? You know? Can I stick a Wi-Fi in there?
Why stick a Wi-Fi in there when you can get a couple of Broadcom Crystal HD cards? Depending on which chipset it's using, I'm going to guess because it's S1G1, it's going to be some sort of a Radeon Express or something.
Yeah, it's got a Radeon X1200, so it's practically a useless thing.
Yeah.
But it's got a PCIe X8, so who cares?
I do.
You know what I mean, though, right?
I understand.
Still, out of all the integrated platforms, I didn't do too bad.
No, you did not do bad at all.
And this thing's really built well. It's got Nippon Chemicon caps all the way around.
Yep.
Very nicely built. The company that made the board is Contron, and they did a great job on the layout, really.
I'm seeing quite a few very nice features happening here, and one of them being it has PWM for the fan at least.
Yeah, I need to see if I can enable it because the company that built these disabled it, so all the fans run full bore.
It's not any more harder than it is to figure out which BIOS type.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just fine. That's going to be easy because all this stuff is off the shelf. What I'm really excited about is these frickin' crystal fonts things are like $80 a whack new.
Yes, they are.
So I think I might try and score more of these units.
But yeah, if you decide to make a mini ITX build out of something like this with a junky MITX case or something, definitely pop a Broadcom Crystal HD in 970015. It is really worth your while. Past that, if you're going to get any sort of a Turion for it or anything,
I got an X251 laying around somewhere, a TL51.
You want to do better than that. Trust me on
There's
that.
a Sempron in it now.
I understand.
And I know that the chips on eBay go for between $2 and $5 a piece generally.
That depends on which ones you want. You want a 65 nanometer Turion.
Well, it's not like I'm going after power efficiency or anything.
Doesn't matter. The 65 nanometer ones run core. 90 nanometer ones are just...
Did you see the heat sink that's on these things?
I understand, but there's a reason that they were called Leg Melter 64s.
Well, what I'm saying is that the Turion X2s in general are cheap on eBay because they're a dime a dozen. And I think I've got a few Turion X2 laptops laying around that are well past their prime.
I understand. I used an Acer Aspire 5050 heavily for about half a year because it was cheap and, well, actually it was free, but it was decent. It could play YouTube videos, sort of, and the battery worked. So, aside from having to solder back on the AC adapter connector so many times that I just finally decided, okay, screw this, and I just hot snotted it in place, and it never gave me any more problems ever again. The thing just got so hot so quick. I want to think that the copper heat pipe was dry inside, but I really can't say for certain. I really want to attest the heat to it not having a 65 nanometer chip in it. When I finally did acquire a 65 nanometer chip, it was inside an Inspiron 1501 with a Radeon X1600. And I don't remember which chipset it was using, but it was fairly nice. The only difference from anything else was that one came with a cracked screen, so I had to make it headless. Aside from that, I mean, it was a great little computer when it worked. But the 65 nanometer chip just ran so cool. It was unbelievable to me that a Turion could run that cold.
Okay, I'm back.
What the hell screen share?
What did I miss?
Everything.
Yeah, I told you I was going away for a second, didn't I?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that those are pretty nice little setups.
Yep. Oh, I should probably show this to you now that it's done, and I have access to my camera and can move it now. Maybe. See if I can do this without freaking anything up. So, check this out. Got full 90s aesthetic going on here now.
Let's take a look at it. Nice.
Is that
The
like
only difference is it's the same drive.
I like it.
I got full 90s aesthetic going on now.
Yeah, it is.
I got to just get a replacement for that blue LED, and maybe I'll get a white one. White would look nice. I mean, the rest of the thing is white except for that beige thing up there. Yellowed as hell, but
Now what's that got? USB? Oh, okay, 4 USB.
4 USB and 2 1394s. The 1394
FireWire.
hooked up.
2 FireWire.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. However, they are not hooked up yet because I don't have the I/O shield yet, and I need to figure out how I want to route that to the back to just plug in. So once I figure that all out, that's going to get plugged into the rear FireWire connector on the motherboard, and hopefully all is going to be hunky-dory.
So the good news is we connected to the computer in my server room just fine.
Why is this getting tangled over here? There we go. You still see me okay?
Yeah.
There we go. There, that'll probably, yeah, that relieves a hell of a lot of stress. I've got some working room now. Oh yeah, and the Ultra 10 has the Evercool thing now. I have not yet checked drive temperatures, and that's next on the list after I go back into IRC and get all that nice and happy.
Let's see. Welcome. For those of you who are just joining us this evening, hello and welcome to SuperGeek Hangout. If you have a particular project that you would like to share, you can go to Freenode. Go to webchat.freenode.net, enter hashtag DoogieLabs for the room name and your desired nickname, and you can come and hang out with us live. Right now I'm working on an HP 9000. I put HP Unix on this a while back and haven't really set it up, so I'm trying to figure that out for the moment. And yeah, so we're just chilling. Probably going to sign off here soon, or maybe I can go away for a while and come back or something, but got to work out here a little bit, so figure that out. I'm glad you left the Pentium 2 sticker on.
Actually, I did not. I actually peeled it off originally, and then I put it back on because...
You did a good job putting it back on.
I tried.
They're difficult, but you did great.
Yeah. I'm thinking about getting, for down here, this space right here after it gets cleaned up with some rubbing alcohol, getting a ye old designed for Windows NT Windows 98 sticker.
You should get designed for Windows 2000, because that's an awesome sticker.
It is, and that would be Windows 2000 Windows NT, but the problem is that that would bring it up to 1999, and this case was made in 98.
Oh, 1 year. I forget. OCD.
The machine originally came from 98, though. And in 99, they only sold these with Pentium 3s, to my knowledge.
How about NT4?
Well, that's just it. A Microsoft Windows NT Windows 98 sticker is NT4. Also, for the side, when I get that all nice and cleaned up and probably repainted if I could ever color match this. Speaking of NT4, I do have a brand new sealed copy of NT4. And I was thinking, because the sticker, put the sticker down here, like COA, just to really throw people off.
Oops.
But as you can see, I've got some battle scars here from when it was kicked around.
I bought this to send to a console hacker.
Oh boy.
Half off.
What color is your jumper pack?
Red.
Ooh. You was one of the lucky ones.
Uh-huh. And this is being sent to a dude named True Control, who does Taz botting. So I look forward to the results. If you've never seen Taz botting before, it's amazing.
I will have to take a look. You ever go over on
to what this group did to Super Mario Brothers 3?
Okay.
Because it's amazing.
You ever go over onto eBay and take a look and see how much the Hey You Pikachu N64s are going for?
Nope. Because I'm never going to sell anything on eBay, probably, so I never look, because...
I know, but you should take a look, because they go for silly money on eBay. Oh my god. My
you know
N64...
what also goes for a lot of money on eBay? The phone I'm going to give Jester.
Yes, you were talking to me about that. You showed that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But my N64 was a, oh god. That was a Hey You Pikachu version. It came with the cartridge and the Hey You Pikachu controller. And the bad part about the Hey You Pikachu controller was it was built to a price. The analog stick wore out really quick, as all N64 controllers do.
Yeah, I know that there's a group that actually rebuilds those controllers.
Yes, that is a thing. I'm going to now move your camera up and over again. Oh, you know what? While I'm here and I have, let me show you the cable mess behind the computers now.
Oh, I also picked up a couple of games for my friend as well.
You can't see it, but there's cable mess down there.
There's an awful game that you should never play.
Oh God.
I also got this one.
Maybe.
Yay, KVM switch APC.
It works. It does work finally.
How many port is it?
How many ports? As many as you want. It does multiplexing, but it's 8 by itself.
Okay. I've got a 16-port Belkin that I haven't
I have
used.
to show the back. Maybe.
Oh, by the way, my new radio still works great.
Oh,
Yay.
look, there's a used rubbing alcohol swab back there that I can't seem to figure out how that got back there. But you can see right there that wide port there next to the keyboard and mouse. That's the multiplexing port.
Yep, I know
Next
about
to other
that.
units. But generally by itself, it's okay. Why are you okay? There we go. So here, I'm going to show this to you here. Double scroll lock.
Yep.
Sun Ultra 10. Oh wow. 8 clear, really? It feels really weird using an Ultra 10 with a Model M.
I
Just
bet it
saying.
does. It should feel wrong.
And here I'm doing some encoding over on the E60. It's doing its damnedest. Look at how cold the 6970 is running.
That's unreal. How is it running that cool?
Because there is a separate fan that is actually intaking air just for the graphics card.
Well, good, because it's doing a good job. So did both those cards end up working okay? I never did ask you.
What?
Did both of those cards end up working?
The 16970 was did not come to me complete on arrival. It broke. So I have the components taped to the card's exterior with electrical tape, and I'm going to be investigating how to fix it later on.
Gotcha, covered.
Yeah. The other, aside from the cover, there's also a couple of capacitors that came off that I'm going to have to pop back on. But the 6950 came in okay.
Cool.
And apparently you can flash that to a 6970, so everything's okay. Not even flash, just overclock too. It's the only difference between the 6950 and 6970, I think, is some is just clocks on stuff. And less RAM, but oh no.
So anyway,
Everyone run.
congratulations on the Corrado work, because it's turning out pretty good.
Yeah, it is very nearly ready to drive.
I'm just surprised how that exhaust leak manifests itself in the live stream audio. It just sounds so weird. I wish you could hear it.
I did not get the chance to hear that because I didn't even
It,
know.
it, sou- it sounded like the exhaust was being bubbled through a toilet.
I'll take it out. Hello, Doogie. Hi, Josh.
Hey, it's Josh.
It is.
Oh God. Oh God.
Welcome to SuperGeek Hangout, Josh.
Is it
Yay.
Super Geek Hangout?
It is Super Geek Hangout time.
Oh my.
And
It's
unfortunately,
been so long.
Jester's BBS is taking a dump. I tried to connect to it via my terminal.
I've got a
I
computer.
can't get a hold of him via phone, so he must not be around.
Ah, it's the dreaded Space Harrier. No carrier? Space Harrier? No? Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't worry about it.
Did you get a haircut, Josh? A while ago.
He got a few hairs cut. Ha 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 ha.
I've actually been quite shaven here, so I feel like something amusing is going to happen. So I've got audacity.
You know, I should probably totally find where I put my one phone and go outside and bring Hangouts outside while it's snowing. Just to document the outside world before my death in Snowmageddon of 2016.
You're not allowed to die. You have a server to send me.
That's right. Yeah, that's the other thing. I've got to get that out to you. Holy crap.
I may have you weigh it and see how much it weighs. And wait a minute.
Oh, and I didn't get to show doing this thing, so I should show it to
Oh,
him.
wow. Is that really an exhaust leak?
No. Shh, shh, shh. Do it again.
Do it again.
The noise
sounds like
cancellation of Hangouts is actually helping here.
It
can't hear
sounds
them.
like it's burping.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. I think I got one of those.
Do it again.
It sounds like an angry animal.
So, have you done anything in terms of, like, cleaning out the engine since it's been sitting for so long, or are you just
No,
running?
it's just an exhaust leak, and it's manifesting itself that way over the...
I'm not talking about the exhaust leak. I'm talking actually in general.
Of course you do.
No, I haven't really done anything like that. Basically, just changing the oil and driving it is what's going to really help it out.
Yep.
Because I would think that running some, at least some injector cleaner in the
No. Bad idea.
No?
Bad idea.
Hey,
Bad
Doogie,
idea.
I'll send you an audio note of that.
You know,
Most injector cleaners snake oil anyway.
Yeah, except the BG products. BG products are good.
And sometimes Lucas gets lucky with one or two.
Yeah, this
I
thing.
can't remember who makes the industrial stuff, but it's not anything you actually want sitting in there. You know what I mean?
no, not sitting. That depends. Did that gas tank get cleaned out, or did
Yep.
you actually?
Yeah, I took it out and cleaned it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he dropped the tank. That was a miserable experience.
Yeah, it was. That sucked a lot.
You had to replace the fuel pump too, didn't you?
Both.
Yeah.
Both fuel pumps.
Yeah, that has a lift pump, doesn't it?
Yeah, the lift pump's in the tank, and then there's a transfer pump on the chassis.
Ooh.
Both were completely locked up and full of goo.
You gotta love gasoline today. It just kills everything. Sits for a while, it turns to straight varnish.
There's a fix for that. You go over to Dollar Tree, you get yourself a nice bottle of octane booster. Yay!
God, Sudas, you have no idea what that stuff does to engines.
I know, that's the joke.
It was running pig rich too before I unplugged the O2 sensor, and now that I've unplugged the sensor, it's
I'm
fine.
gonna guess that your O2 sensor's got silicone poisoning syndrome or something. That seems to happen to them over the years, where they get contaminated with what they were built with at the factory.
Yeah.
Many people don't know, but the wires going back to an O2 sensor sometimes carry the oxygen from the outside. So you can't really count on those. O2 sensors are a strange beast, man. You don't screw with them.
Put you up here and
Fire or shit?
I'll put you up here and start the engine. These things are funny. I think they sound like tractor engines.
At the very least, you'll finally be able to drive a Corrado again.
Yeah. Oh man, you can really hear the leak from here.
Does that have a stuck lifter?
That's not a stuck lifter, that's an exhaust leak.
That's an exhaust leak.
That's an exhaust leak, Sudas.
The ticking noise is the exhaust leak.
It sounds like that video of the pufferfish.
It sounds like my snowblower. I would know. I had to start the snowblower today.
You know what I didn't have to start up?
What?
A snowblower, because I don't own one.
You live in Arizona. I wouldn't expect you to own one.
If I lived in Flagstaff, I might actually have to own one, but I don't.
I
So is that
understand.
exhaust leak noise a lot more pronounced up here?
Oh man,
Little bit.
it sounds like it sounds like you're smacking a socket wrench against the valve cover. That's how
Sounds like
bad
a diesel.
it sounds over the stream.
Sounds like a diesel.
No, it does not sound like a diesel. Diesels sound very different.
Depends on what kind of diesel.
Yeah, that's the there's a exhaust manifold gasket that's actually blown out on the side of it. So I gotta, in order to fix that, really, you gotta take the intake manifold off to get to it. And
Hey, I got a question. Do you have an iPhone or a computer that you can log into the Hangouts and just listen to the audio on? Because you should just hear it. It's amazing.
I think Josh has that covered. Possibly.
yeah, I think he might have recorded it.
No, he's on the phone.
For those of you who are just joining us live, hello and welcome to SuperGeek Hangout Time. It is 2016, and this is the first Hangout that we've done. If you want to chat and interface with us in real time, you can. You can head over to webchat.freenode.net, enter hashtag Doogie Labs and your desired nickname, obviously hashtag Duty Labs is the room name. And there's a link to the Hangout. You can join us in there if you got something to share. We want to see it. Tonight I'm just working on a few things. It's snowed here in North Carolina, like 6 inches. So that's the first time it's really snowed here in the time I've been here. So I've just been kind of inside and working on stuff. I got the oil-fired furnace all fixed up, so I'm nice and warm.
Okay, so that sucker is still working properly then. Cool.
Well, I had to fix it again, but basically the electrodes for the ignition weren't quite set up right. I think they got a little worn down.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, things been through a lot.
It's been going good, though. I don't know if you can see this. You can see the vent in the ceiling.
Yep.
See the black ring around it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means that there's a crack in the heat exchanger.
Ah, bummer.
So all of the vents in the ceiling have that black ring around it, and that's
Having carbon monoxide too, which is kind of great.
well, actually, interestingly enough, on an oil-fired furnace, that's not as much of a problem. I do have a carbon monoxide alarm detector in here, so
As long as the combustion is good, though, you'd be a bit better off.
yeah, the combustion air, it's set. I actually set the combustion air bands on it and everything, so it's not too rich or anything like that. The only time that it was really an issue was when I was trying to get the thing to light, and there was a bunch of extra fuel oil in the combustion chamber, and then when it finally lit off, it was like really smoky, and it actually pushed smoke out of all of the vents.
Oh God.
So, no, it's good though, and there's enough of a cross breeze through here, or I should say, the shop has enough of air leaks in the building.
The shop is full of holes. Why don't you say that?
Yeah, it's full of holes. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, good stuff.
There is a recording of your exhaust note in IRC.
Oh, okay.
Does it include
The later half is kind of loud.
Is that up front?
Okay.
That's when it's up front.
Okay.
Oh, Sudas, I know I asked you this like a week ago. Could you send me that link to the Windows 7 setup that's got the loader and everything?
Uh-oh.
I could.
You mentioned there was a later version of it.
I have a later revision that is slipstreamed up to a certain month. Let me see what I got here. In
What I'm
fact,
gonna do.
it's in the same folder.
What I'm gonna do is use my IBM server. I'm gonna create a virtual machine and run an
64-bit?
encoder on there. And one of the encoders can be here. The internet doesn't seem to do too badly. I think it's more of a wireless problem than anything when I've had issues.
64-bit?
Yes, please.
Okay, there you go. The only thing it does not include is Ultimate with the loader. So you have
It
to.
is professional, right?
It does have professional.
Well, that'll be.
So I think that's what I've got on the E60 because that's what I used for that. Let me just click over to it real quick and take a look. See, yeah, professional. So yeah, so that's why Arrow is not working. Ah, now I understand. I was using it with remote desktop just for the hell of it, and now I realize why remote desktop wasn't using Arrow. It's because it's Windows 7 Professional. Using Arrow over RDP is something that is reserved only for Ultimate.
That is ridiculously stupid.
I know. In fact, on one of my computers, I actually upgraded to Ultimate using a junk key from a keygen someplace to and then redid the loader thingy just to get that ability.
That is retarded. Anyway. Oh, you'll be pleased to know, Sudos, I have not broken the screen in my X130E yet.
It's okay. You should see the laptop that Lenovo is touting for like $200 right now.
What?
Yeah. The Lenovo IdeaPad 100S, I think is what it was called.
Huh.
And I believe it's a Core M. Oh, no, it's not a Core M, it's an Atom. It's like the Winbooks. It's an Atom Z3735F.
That doesn't... how are the hinges on it, though?
It is actually okay from what I understand.
Oh, it's not gonna go.
Here we go. Notebook Check has a review for me. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, it's got a Celeron in it.
No, it does not have a Celeron. It has an Atom.
The, how come the one that I'm looking at says Celeron?
I have Lenovo IdeaPad 100S right here in front of me. Notebook Check has a review. A couple other sites have a review. It's all an Atom.
Huh.
Bay-Trail graphics, all that stuff, but the Z3735 is notable in that it's a quad core and has a really low TDP.
Then what the hell is this one? Oh, that's a horrible link.
So, really, when you,
Oh, the Chromebook. Okay, never mind. That's why.
yeah, you're looking at the Chromebook.
Yeah.
But this particular one actually meets one of my nitpicks. I'm going to pop this in, I guess I'm going to pop it in Hangout chat. Pasta.
So I won't see it.
But take a look-see at the most notable nitpick that I have a problem with on modern laptops. Right there under the keyboard. Do you see this wonderful thing that they did?
Well, like I told you, I can't look because I don't have Hangout chat.
Oh, you're on a...
Yeah.
Hmm. Here you go, it's an IRC now.
All right. Let me remote into my...
Not only that, it's all matte. It's not even glossy. I would expect glossy plastic for something for $200. Looks like it's just USB 2.0, but still.
But yeah, very happy with the X130E that I outfitted with the Samsung SSD. It's just been a trooper so far. I've actually had it running OBS and 3 cameras at the same time, and it's handled it somehow.
Take a look at how much battery power that particular Lenovo gets, though.
So it's only got a 32 gig storage drive.
It's onboard SSD. I'm not sure if it's replaceable or not. Probably not. However, that's okay when you consider that the battery life is like 10 to 11 hours.
Yeah, I get 9 hours out of the X130, which isn't
But
bad.
11 hours of battery life out of a $200 laptop?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that's not bad. That is not bad.
Yeah, even if it's just an Atom. It's a quad-core Atom, for
Yeah.
one. And numero dos, it's just like...
Wow, did they give you a matte display almost?
Yeah, matte display, 1366 by 768. I'm sure you can swap it out for something higher res if you so chose.
Wow, for $200?
Yeah.
I spent 117 on my X130 plus another 55 on the solid state drive, so I felt pretty good about it.
And what drive is in this ThinkPad?
IdeaPad, and it's a 32 gig SSD on the board itself. Looks like. Here we go. Yeah, integrated
okay.
32 gig eMMC.
So I guess it's definitely cheaper quality than the ThinkPad line, right?
Well, even then, 32 gigs is more than enough to drop Linux on, and Bay Trail is supported heavily under Linux now. So there's no contest. This is like $200 and you drop Linux on it and you're done. And then if you need more storage, you pop a flash drive into one of the USB ports.
11 hours of battery life. Ah.
Yeah. Transfer rates from the internal eMMC are slow for an SSD. Sequential write rate is surprisingly low at below 40 megabytes a second, which is lower than most mechanical drives and comparable in many smartphones. Other netbooks, such as the HP Stream 11 and its 32 gig eMMC, show similar results as our Lenovo. So it's probably the same manufacturer doing it for them.
Man, the inside is very barren. I can see how they got it that cheap now.
Oh crap, there's a crack in the muffler there.
Oh, that's probably causing some of it.
Weld it over and see what happens.
It's got water dripping out. I'll drag the welder over, I guess.
There we go. Battery
Hey,
life.
if you look in IRC, there's now a pulse-stretched exhaust note from the car.
Oh, God.
The integrated battery pack provides great run times of almost 7 hours of constant wireless use at a setting of 150 nits. Lenovo advertises 8 hours under the same settings. We believe our looping browser script is
That thing doesn't have Bluetooth,
representation,
does it?
blah, blah, blah. Worth mentioning that charging from nearly 0% to full capacity can take up to 4 to 5 hours.
Dude, that thing doesn't have Bluetooth on it, does it?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it.
Oh, come on. Stay there. How much battery juice do I have left? This thing eats up battery power fast. 18 minutes, 36% remaining.
Yeah, you're going to want to plug that in like right now.
Yeah, I better do.
Because if you don't, you're going to lose SuperGeek Hangout time.
kind of want to just dump HPUX and put BSD on that HP 9000.
OpenBSD is probably going to be your friend in this, if not NetBSD.
Huh?
NetBSD or OpenBSD are going to be your friend in this, if that's the case.
I don't even know if they support the RP3440.
HPUX is cool on its own. I'd keep it on there. It gives
Yeah.
it HP 9000.
I guess I should keep with tradition.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you can see that okay. Not terrible. Okay, drag the welder.
No, I still can't believe how clean that car is considering where it was.
Yes, but do remember that this used to be Kevin's car, so...
You weren't kidding about the water dripping, were you?
It's got the typical nice car sitting thing. The car is nice and there's holes in the exhaust from sitting. I noticed that. Cars like to develop holes in the exhaust when you let them sit.
This one's a Michigan car, so...
Yeah, like I said, I'm amazed that that car is in such good condition considering where it's been.
All rust belt.
Yeah, me too. But Kevin did a really good job taking care of it. He never really drove it in the winter in the time that he owned it, so it's been preserved rather well. I can't wait to enjoy that on the road, especially in a place like here. The roads, because it really doesn't snow or anything like that, the roads are just fantastic.
You should go cruise in it along the coast and take a video.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Okay. This will be just a quickie stitch up. I don't know if it's stainless or not. I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I will be back momentarily.
All right.
Just a moment.
I'm sending the VNC into my modem rig.
then the gas tank falls apart, and he lights the entire place on fire because one of the sparks gets into the gas tank.
Shut up, Sudas. That wouldn't
Michigan
happen
gas
because it's
tank.
too rich. It's too rich to explode or catch fire. You should know that. You know your fuel pump is sparking all the time inside your gas tank, and it doesn't manage to light it on fire?
If there was a
It's
joke in
literally
this
a
place,
brush motor. Run it in your fuel pump.
there is a joke in there someplace, and
Anyway, I'm just being an asshole.
it's okay. It's okay.
Holy mother of Crestbend.
You know, I've got an interesting idea. I'm going to set up
That ugly motherfucker right there.
I'm going to set up my dial-up computer to accept internet connections, and I'm going to dial it from the terminal and see what happens. I don't know what Microsoft dial-up ends up looking like when you try and get it on a terminal, but we're going to find out. ATD 7401030. Did I stop hyperterminal or not? I did.
Basically just goobed it up because it was starting to get really thin around there.
Good. You did fine. It was a quick fix. Connect 9600 ARQ 334 Lapham. We are connected. Now what the hell can we do with this? Apparently we can't do anything.
Cool.
Okay, so the question is, will that fix the exhaust leak, or is there another one up front?
No, there's one up front. The exhaust manifold gasket at the #1 cylinder has a little corner blown out of it. So that's that ticking noise that you hear in the engine compartment with the engine running.
It's funny because it's so pronounced when you do it over the streaming.
It's so what?
Pronounced.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
So I'm just going to leave this modem connected here and see how long we have a connection for before it drops carrier. But it should be fairly reliable.
I see we've gained an hour.
Hey, Doogie, is this your new supercharged beast?
Yeah.
And it's certainly got one of the weirdest superchargers I have ever seen on it. On a car.
Yeah, a giant scroll compressor.
Yeah, it's a scroll compressor.
A scroll compressor.
Yeah.
Yep, like, you know, a refrigeration compressor that's got the fixed scroll and the moving scroll. They don't actually fit. It's on an eccentric.
Yeah, well, I know all about those.
Yeah, it's a big one of those. The scroll is probably like 10 inches across, something like that.
What's wrong with them? The Germans really fucking like making things hard for themselves, don't they?
They do.
They really do.
Fighting for you.
Like, yeah, Hans, I know how to fuck them. We will put in a scroll compressor, not a screw.
Alright, since that didn't work, we're going to just put a hyperterminal on the modem. We're going to wait for a call. Waiting for call. ATD 74. Oh, god damn it.
Why not 18 DT?
It would help if this keyboard didn't type twice sometimes. There we go.
There it is, hiding down there.
Those mongrels, mate. Those mongrels. You could have put a freaking massive turbocharger in that engine bay.
On Elise's white Corrado, we actually took the supercharger out and because this is a counterflow head, so we took the stock downpipe and turned it around and ran it under the oil pan, and the exhaust came up, and then there was a T3 flange there, and we took a whole set HX30 and put it here, and then the downpipe that came off the turbo, and then the downpipe went. It went through the hole here where the supercharger pulley comes out, and then the exhaust made a 90 where the charcoal canister is under this air box, and that was the entire exhaust.
Oh, God.
It put I think it was like 280 wheel horsepower on 24 pounds of boost.
That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting.
But it worked.
No, I'm saying it's disgusting that you just jam bloody 24 pounds into this motor and it makes all this horsepower.
Well, it helps to use a turbo off a Cummins diesel.
Yeah, I know.
It didn't spool until like 4,000 RPM, but
Oh, well, there's your problem.
yeah. It was so far, like the exhaust had to travel a bit, so we lost a lot of heat. I header wrapped it and everything. It was all right. It was fun. All right,
I'll
guys.
see. Hold up, I'll see if I can find this link. Fucking hell, where is it? On the gaybook.
So we've got a nice stable connection between two ATAs and two computers running PBXs right now. And I'm able to type from one console to another. For instance, I can type "Hi Alex" into the terminal on this end. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
There you go.
Oh, Hardy's posted the link to that laptop.
But you notice, see, it's a Connect 9600 ARQ V34 LAPM. This is actually connected via dumb terminal through a modem, through an ATA, to a PBX, over an IX2 trunk, to another PBX, to another ATA, to a computer.
Hey, Doogie, if you're at a computer, the link in the group chat.
Okay. Pull it up.
Pretty cool, right?
I can't believe you got your bloody own phone system working, man. You're crazy.
Yeah, but it works. I would show you a connected to Jester's computer in Ohio, but unfortunately there's something wrong with his BBS right now. It's giving me a problem connecting to the TCP port.
And I still can't believe that fucking data works over a voice data link sort of thing.
Yep, it does. It works. One of these is a Cisco SPA112. The other one is a Linksys SPA2102 or whatever. But they're both consumer-grade ATAs. And 9600 is their sweet spot, so you know. That's where everything works proper.
Okay, I have to go work out before it gets too much later. Should I stop the broadcast? Should I leave the broadcast and come back?
Leave
You
the
guys
broadcast
gonna hang
and come
around?
Do whatever Sudos says, I think, is the best option.
Huh.
He usually comes up with the best option in these cases.
Leave it and come back.
Okay. Okay. You have to be entertaining. You better be entertaining.
I don't think I don't know. I really wish that Gesture would come back because I really have some interesting things to discuss with him, and he has some interesting things to show off to us.
Okay.
Because he's usually here for these.
Hello and welcome to SuperGeek Hangout time. This evening we've been showing off and working on many different things. I've been a bit indecisive as to what to actually work on. If you are just joining us, you can actually head over to webchat.freenode.net and enter hashtag Doogie Labs as the room name and your desired nickname. Hit join, and you can interface with us here in real time. In the topic of the room, if you have headphones, a microphone, and a camera, you can actually click on the link to this very Hangout, and you can participate in the live stream. If you have a project that you would like to show us, come on in and show it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, hit the chat room. You can also leave a comment here on this video. I'll be responding to those after the fact. It's really hard to monitor comments and chats and do things at the same time, so I kind of just focus on one place and tell you to go there. I have to go work out, so that'll be, what, half an hour? Half an hour or so. Then I'll be back, and we'll talk and discuss some more, so I'll leave it to you guys.
Apparently, I just typed a whole bunch of 4s, but we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna disconnect this after a while, and we're going to see if we can contact Chris Jester again, because I really want to show this thing connecting up to his BBS. I guess we could try it really quickly.
And that's over now.
Well, what was that about?
That was either I don't know either.
All I know is we just got Macarena bombed.
Macarena.
Whatever you were going to say, just don't say it.
Damn, now that's going to be in my head the rest of the night.
You know what? That's one of the more amusing things that's happened.
If you're going to join, just a note to those who are watching, if you're going to join the live stream, clothing is required or you're kicked immediately. Just saying. And by the way, it is kind of rude to just come in and blast music over everybody else who's talking.
Although it was kind of amusing.
I think we were just getting trolled, but it's a good time to reiterate that there is rules.
There is rules.
Yes.
Oh, they heard you were leaving, so
Mute myself.
One more time. And just see how this works out.
Oh. I'm also using this as the encoder, so whatever audio is played on the laptop goes out to the live stream. I can't mute that. No, it's like it's called broadcast stops, but the Hangout still exists.
Unhappy modem.
Oh, and Monkey left already.
Yeah, maybe we should shut it down.
I guess we're going to have...
What did I miss?
Everything. You missed everything. You missed the Macarena and
Some fat guy belly dancing.
Hold on, I gotta go get my pizza out of the oven. I will be right back.
Huh?
Yeah, you missed
the
it.
Macarena bomb.
You missed welding too.
Yeah.
Why were you gone so long? Like you were gone for like a half an hour.
It
He was
wasn't
off
a
with
half
his light bulb back.
I had to go be the king, okay? And a king sits on his throne, okay? Enough said.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. For those of you who are in the Hangout and still want to participate in the Hangout, I'm going to leave the links there. I have to stop the encoder to do my workout, and then I guess I'll put the live stream back up when I'm done, and I'll come back in.
Awesome.
All right. Well, for those of you
I'm
watching
glad that
us,
we were able to do one of these for the first time in a very long time.
yeah, it's going to be a regular thing again.
I know life's gotten away from me, and I'm sure it has for you as well.
All
Just
right.
let me know when you're going to have them so I can line some stuff up.
For those of you who are watching us live, thank you very much for joining us this evening, and look for us next week.